This is Curtis, and welcome to my show. Excuse me for a second, episode 4. We're going to jump right into a top 5 conspiracies of 2020, part 3. And tonight, I think we are going to discuss, let's see, what do you think? Well, we already pretty much talked about some of the important topics on there. I think we'll dig up a little something from the past. The papers for President Kennedy that were supposed to be released back in 2018 by President Trump have been scheduled to be released on, I believe, June of 2020 this year, sometime, some other papers. And they were supposed to have some information leading up to what had happened that day in Dallas back in 1963. That happens to be a topic of so many conspiracies. It's like, holy crap, where in the hell would we go with that? Probably a lot longer than what I'd care to be babbling on about. But let's see. Oh, yes. The coronavirus has also been named the Wuhan virus, not the Wu-Tang virus, not the Wu-Hu virus, not the Wu-Wu virus, the Wuhan virus. Because that's where the place of origination was from. It is not the only coronavirus that has been known to have hit. However, this is one of the more severe ones and stuff, so something to take seriously. They are very, very resilient right now on trying to deal with this. However, there was somebody saying that that coronavirus was put into action on June 26th. I mean, in January 26th, 2020. That's not true. They were talking about it on the news back in 2019, so it did not happen on the day that of the tragedy with Kobe Bryant. That's false. Of course, people are going to run around with all kinds of things. There was photos leaked out. I'm not going to name names, but I think it's very disgraceful that there's some photos out there of the scene of the crash with bodies and stuff. Not exactly sure how people were able to come across that type of stuff, but I don't really get that one. That's hard to figure out why anybody would want to look at that. There are so many things about this that don't make sense. Like I said, there was people talking about that it was the elites that killed them because of the fact that the night before Kobe died, LeBron James had passed up his scoring record on the third in the NBA scoring records. And then all of a sudden Kobe dies the next day. There was people talking about LeBron was crying fake tears at the memorial for Kobe Bryant, and that he hung his Kobe Bryant's jersey up on a fire, some type of fire extinguisher or something like that, and talking about that was a dig on him. I'm like, really? No, he probably just hung it there for a minute because that's where he needed to put it for a few minutes before he walked out on the field and did his memorial. Not exactly sure what he was doing with all the little hand gestures and stuff like that. I know people are quick to say that that's like some occultic thing where he was like throwing up the 3 6s and stuff like that, and doing the pyramid, the all-seeing eye for stuff like that, which I'm not going to mention. But I'm not exactly sure what to think about none of that. I really, and then there was people talking about Kobe had faked his death and stuff, and that this was a totally different crash, and there was two crashes in the area and stuff like that. And one of them was a red and black helicopter, the other one was like a blue and white helicopter, and I'm like, I don't know. We didn't hear nothing about two. We only heard about the one, unfortunately. So I don't know where they came up with that idea. There's so many different things going on in this world right now. All we can really do, people, is just keep your faith in the Creator and realize that there's going to be things that are beyond our control. But if you're smart enough to be able to separate the bull crap from the reality, you'll be okay. There's so many there's so many people out here with fantastic stories to tell, and that are really good people who are trying to get people to understand that there's things going on out here that you need to be aware of, because it can be the difference between life and death, or fame and fortune, or heartbreak and sorrow, or freedom or imprisonment. A whole lot of things. Technology right now is beyond anything that we could ever comprehend. I'm 44 years old, so I grew up back in the days, in the 80s, with Transformers, G.I. Joe, Thundercats, He-Man, Voltron, so many other good Star Wars and stuff, the original trilogy, not this new stuff from Disney, because I ain't really feeling that. But, definitely, want to keep the word out there on things, and let people realize that, there's a lot more going on out here than what you really think it is. You just got to be conscious and take the good with the bad, and realize that, sometimes terrible things happen that are hard to figure out, January 2020 didn't start off too well for the world, and, we can only hope and pray that, the rest of this year goes pretty smooth and stuff. This has been Curtis Jr. for Excuse Me for a Second, Episode 4, Top 5 Conspiracy Theories, Part 3. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and support my channel if you can. And keep on watching. I'll keep on putting new content out there. Thank you, everybody. I'm off. Bye-bye.